Hello everybody. I apologize for canceling the class yesterday. Thank you for those that for your concern about my mom. She is back home tonight and doing as well as can be expected. So hopefully Monday everything will be back on track. So what I'm talking about tonight is kind of an abbreviated version of what I had planned on to talk about in class yesterday. And it also covers the news assignment quiz, or the professional standards quiz and the assignment that I just opened up on Canvas. Both of those are due by 11:59 Monday night. So that means even if they're not done by class time, you'll have till the end of Monday night to finish them. And the quiz is over things that we learned about. So make sure you're looking at that study guide that's available in the module for professional standards. And the news assignment is based on the news values that we discussed last week. So news values, the 5 that we just talked about. Okay, the impact, timeliness, prominence, proximity, and unusual. So you're going to have 2 pieces of information that you will have to decide from 1 to 10, or from 1 to 5, sorry, 1 to 10, and how important they are in order. In other words, is it mostly impactful, or is it mostly proximity? So you would number them 1 to 5. Okay, so let's kind of go over the news values. All right, news values, in other words, how newsworthy is it? For instance, we have impact. All right, how it affects our lives. If it's a wreck that did very little damage, nobody was severely injured, it may not be something that we cover locally. But if it is things like a major accident that happened, or a shooting that happened, or yesterday the news about the Dallas, the guy that rammed his truck into the news station in Dallas, that is more impactful. So that gave it a higher value. Okay. So others are outcome of an election, raising tuition, and like a peace treaty. Okay. Then we have timeliness. When did it happen? How recent did it happen? If it's something that happened weeks ago and you're just now writing about it, chances are it may not be as newsworthy than if it had happened just right then. For instance, today, got the news that one of my favorite stars, Burt Reynolds, passed away. He was 82 years old, same age as my mom. And it was the timeliness, it was right away. He's a very well-known star. He's very big in movies in the 70s and 80s. And so it had impact. It was very newsworthy. So I sent out push alerts, and I wrote up a story real quick and got that out as quickly as I could. And the more timely, the higher the news value. All right, another one is huge traffic accident. There was one I almost wrote about a cement truck and a truck over on Toll 49 in Old Jacksonville, but chose not to do it because by the time I got to it, that kind of went into timeliness, and it had already gone, and they pretty much cleared up the scene. So, okay, train derailment. Yeah, that could be one. And tomorrow being the last day to register to vote, not truthfully, but you get where I'm going on that one. Okay. Cyber thieves, yeah. All right, the next one, prominence. What about the news subject's fame? Again, this could be the Burt Reynolds story. He's a prominent figure. So he had quite the higher news value. So see, this is why the information that you're getting, it may fall under more than one of these news values, and that's okay. So that's part of what the assignment is to rank it on the news value from most important to least important. Okay, president, movie stars, Burt Reynolds, and late night talk show hosts, and Kardashian. Okay. All right, proximity. how close to home the news took, that the event took place. All right. So something here in Tyler, big news value, but maybe something in Ohio, not so much. But then it goes back to impact. So, all right, movie star coming to Tyler. A gun lockdown, UT Tyler. Texas changing its DWI laws. And the unusual. That's just the plain weird. And these things happen, and people like weird things. So it could have news value. And here are some of those. Okay. Is it information you need? Is it information you want? And always consider your audience. Okay? So those are the things that you're going to be looking at as far as doing your news value assignment. And I'm going to go ahead and give you a sneak peek on that. Let me go in here. We'll open this up. It's under the A module. You are the news editor for a UT Tyler student publication. You must decide which one of the two stories below should run on page 1 of the Talon coming out. To make the decision, put each their news value test. Okay? So assign a score of 1 to 10 to each category, with 1 being the lowest value and 10 the highest, and explain to why. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and preview this. All right. So you have, here's the first story. Now you're going to see the story more than once. Okay? Like it's the same thing. During a student government association, proposed freshmen and sophomores. So you're going to say, how impactful is this? This happy pancake sprinkled with new spice, or these pancakes sprinkled with new spice that makes them happy. So you're going to evaluate the impact, score it, and explain why. Now, I'm going to tell you, you're going to have to explain in good, not extremely a lot of detail, but I don't want one word or just a few words out of a sentence. All right, I'm not putting any word count on it, but I want more than just because I think it's impactful. You need to explain yourself, all right? Because what you're doing is you are selling me on the idea that you believe this new thing that's coming out is impactful. You believe it because, and then sell me on it, okay? And then we're going to do timeliness and unusual, excuse me, and so on, all right? So you have those 5. Okay, come on, scroll down. Now here's the Jack Jones, okay? He's an actor, so that's given, it's the same thing. So there are 10 questions in all, 2 separate news stories coming out, and you have to evaluate the news values, okay? And then here we go. All right, determine which story do you want to put on page 1, and then justify it, okay? And that's it. So this takes a little bit more time. So like I said, I do not think that this has a time limit on it, but I'll go in and make sure. And then that way you can come back to it if you want to do it a little bit, stop and come back to it. I'll let you do that because I want you to take your time on this and really give it some thought. All right. Now the other thing that's in the module that's also due by Monday night is the professional standard quiz. So make sure you're looking at the study guide and you're going over the PowerPoint again, okay? And in order to take this quiz. And no, I'm not going to give you a preview of that one. So, all right, the other thing I was going to go over was the sins of journalism. So it was pretty much open. The only thing I haven't done is open the quiz yet because y'all are not ready for it. I did put the PowerPoint in that I was going to show you, so kind of go over it. If review it, look and see. It talks about plagiarism and ethics a little bit. So it is based on, I didn't put it on there. Let me get the book here and I'll tell you. let's see. It is based on chapter 12. Okay, so make sure that you are reading over chapter 12, and then on the first one, the professional standards, that was, excuse me, that was chapter 4. All right, so this was chapter 12. I don't know why that was not in there. Okay, and we'll go over this more on Monday as well, on the sins of journalism. But just kind of go over this and get an idea of what's going on. And we'll also talk about a little bit about the quiz. There's not an assignment in Module B, so it's just going to be the quiz. Okay, and then from there we've got the other ones coming up. I'm hoping we can get back on track, get to the writing tools by the 10th, or by the end of, on Wednesday. But we'll see. And I'm saying a lot of ums, which is very bad anyway. It's been a long day. Okay, now I want you guys to have a great weekend. Get to working on that news assignment. Don't forget about the quiz. They're both due on Monday by midnight. So if you have any questions Monday in class, feel free to ask me about them. We can save some time. I don't imagine we're going to have a whole lot of time left over Monday, because I'm going to have to cover sins of journalism and a little bit about the writing tools on the same night. So it's going to be a little bit crammed, but I'll leave some time at the end where we can talk if you need to come up and ask me about it, okay? As always, email me if you have any questions. I will get back in touch with you, and we will see you on Monday.